One CC Podcast.
Hello and welcome to this week's Sci-Fi Podcast. The Solo One Sci-Fi guys are back. We're going to be talking about, I don't know, we haven't got a clue what we're talking about, but over in my far corner is the amazing Coquelud, has an amazing channel, over 160,000 subscribers, and that is awesome. I'm by the gods of science fiction. I'm on my way to 9,000 subscribers, and I'm very pleased with that. And I made my first video today showing my sci-fi collection. So this week we're going to be talking about, I don't know, well, I've not seen Star Trek Discovery, but I don't mind spoilers. We will be covering the 1960s TV series Mission Impossible. And you're going to ask, is that science fiction? It sort of is, and we will go into that.
Yeah.
So, hello.
Hello, sir. Thank you for that. Very nice intro. Nice to see you. Nice to talk to you again. It's been an interesting week since last week. We haven't actually got a ton to report in some ways, but we are going to talk about, like I said, the sort of latest in Star Trek Discovery and Mission Impossible. So, before we go into those topics, what else has been going on your end? Anything you want to report to the world, or is it just been a dull? It's been cold up. It's been cold here. You know, we're into May now, and it's still freezing. It says 6 degrees on my watch this morning.
I've got the heating on.
I've got my fire on. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know. We had a couple of nice days last week, didn't we?
Last weekend I was really busy. I had to chop down a tree, and
I saw the picture. How did it go? Did you defeat it?
Yeah, I'm knackered though. My muscles ached for about. I feel better now, but it was hard going. But the reason I rushed it for my mum was because I don't trust the weather. Yesterday it drizzled again. So I just thought, sod it. I'm not going to wait again until I want to get it done. And I was right. Weather deteriorated again. So anyway, if you're living in the UK and you're obviously seeing this, you'll probably say, yeah, the weather has been pretty shitty this winter in the UK. And if you aren't living in the UK and watching this, then you're probably luckier than we are, because our weather is shite. So there we go. That's enough moaning about the weather. What else have I been doing? I have obviously watched Star Trek Discovery, which was good. And Martin's not seen it, but I'll say some things about it. I won't give too much. It is quite a good episode. It is. I tell you the best way to describe it as being, because it's very similar to the Voyager season 7 episode Shattered. Shattered was the one where they kept going back into different time zones on the Voyager. If you remember that episode?
Yes, I do. Yes,
and it has parallels with that in this. That's what
so they've ripped off another story basically from the original.
Well, it's similar.
Haven't. It's like last week's.
It's similar.
Debacle.
No. This one's. I like this one. I thought this one was all right.
Okay.
I thought the only thing again, which I wish they would just give us some more exterior ship shots. I want to see more of the ships in space. There was one shot last week. I know it sounds a bit dorky and geeky, but I do like myself a bit of starship porn. I really do. You know, I just do. I want to see the ample nacelles and everything. No, I'm not going to go there. But I do. I like to see exterior shots.
I worry about you at times. I don't worry about you at times.
Look at the water nacelles on that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'll go in impulse with that one.
Scream out warp drive.
Yeah.
Scream out.
Warp 9.9, baby. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Right.
Apart from that, yeah, it was quite interesting actually, and it was a bottle show, which actually Star Trek actually does very well. Bottle shows have actually been prominent in some of the best episodes in Star Trek over the years. So they're saving their money for what's coming up. I think this week's episode is going to be the big one. It looks very interesting as well. So yeah, it was all right. That's pretty much all I've seen. I'm still struggling through Silo. I liked it. I'm about halfway through, and then I tried watching episode 6 last week, and I fell asleep watching it. And it's I don't know. I'm gonna get through it because I've got the feeling it's gonna get better by the end of the season. But some shows have a sort of mid-season slump.
Yeah.
Where it kind of like it's just sort of going through the motion, but not really progressing very far. And I just thought by this point, at this point, well, you haven't seen it, but there's stuff which is got to start to show up in the background, which is interesting. But get on with it. You know, just get to the nitty gritty. You know what I mean? I don't like that. You get certain shows, but just get on with it. Maybe I'm just getting less patient with stuff as I get older. I don't know, but you know,
Yeah, I'm like that.
you know
I'm
what I
like
mean?
that. I'm no,
Yeah.
I am like that. I recommend you should watch Fallout. Mind blown.
Yeah, everybody's saying that they think
You
it's
need
really
to
good,
watch it. I'm being
and I will. I
serious.
will. No, I know you are, and I will watch that. Like I said, it's just the thing is, with my lifestyle with family, and a lot of stuff I do, I drive a lot, so I can't sit around watching stuff. You know what I mean? Sometimes like people work in offices, they have access to media, they can watch stuff
Yeah.
while they're. I can't do that. I've got to.
I
So,
watched. I watched for the first time it's Zack Snyder. He's done. He's doing a series of movies.
uh-huh.
He's trying to create a new sci-fi verse,
Oh yeah.
and I was blown away by it. I'd not watched it. It's a remake of Battle Beyond the Stars,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
and the release part 2 last week. I
Yeah, you
watched
told me
both on
about that. You
Sunday.
told me about that. Okay.
Rebel Moon. It's interesting. I mean, it doesn't offer anything new,
Mm.
but it's interesting. There were a lot of like fight scenes were in slow motion and lens flare. There were lots of that.
Oh, I hate that.
You know, like when they're firing the guns and they're all like, in slow mo. Yeah, and 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 it was very good. It was the Magnificent Seven against the evil Empire.
Hmm.
But I mean, I did sit there and think, well, why wouldn't you just take the village out from suborbital bombardment? Then you've got no problems. But then we won't have a series,
A
would we? So
plot hole. It's a plot hole.
yes, but it's very good. I enjoyed it. 4 hours it were on. I watched 1 and 2 together, and I thought actually I quite enjoyed this.
Okay.
And it was interesting because the spaceship they were shoveling like this coal stuff into its reactor. You know, it like futuristic, but
Like
not
steampunk, sort of
futuristic.
like a
Yeah, yeah,
steampunk thing. Okay.
yeah.
That
And
sounds good.
it's worth a look.
Is it
It's
a
worth.
TV? Is it a TV movie
I
or what
don't
is
know
it?
what it is. I did look into it. It's like I know that Zack Snyder's trying to create this science fiction universe with loads of spin-offs, and this is the core of it. It's about 7 people that defend this village on this planet, and there's a robot. Anthony Hopkins plays a robot warrior,
Oh, okay.
and there's obviously the main hero. She's known as the Scar Giver. She's turned against the Empire. She's like a super soldier, and they've got all these other ones that have all these talents, and they all get together. And this general, and there's some evil person took over Empire, and they call it the Mother World.
Mm.
And you do get to see this Emperor dude, sort of like he's very dark and malevolent, and it was enjoyable for 4 hours, and it was nice to see somebody take a risk with something.
Yeah, I mean
You
that's
know, there's a lot in there. I mean, it's a big star cast. I
mm.
mean, they spent the money on this thing. It's called Rebel Moon. I do
Rebel
recommend
Moon.
it.
All right, okay. It's interesting because, like you said, I mean, these days they tend to be a bit more cautious about doing stuff,
Yeah,
and it's a shame. I mean, I'm hearing a bit more about the Acolyte series now. Apparently, they're going to be featuring one thing which we've never seen before. They're going to have a Sith, not Sith, a Jedi, not a lightsaber, a Jedi whip, light whip. You know, like a hollow whip from Red Dwarf.
yeah.
They're going to have that.
Well, that's where they pinched that from, isn't
Yeah,
it?
well, it's called. Apparently, it's in classic Star Wars lore. But there's a character. He's going to have a light whip, the first ever seen in live action. So I'm quite interested in some of the aspects about this.
Well, we're not getting a season 2 of Acolytes, a one-off.
Oh, is that? Has that been confirmed?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't. Well, I'm
I
not.
saw it on a review channel. Apparently, it's a one-off,
Oh, But they're saying that the
and
action.
there's no Obi-Wan Kenobi season.
Yeah,
2.
Obi-Wan's not happening, but then I didn't think it was going to
No.
anyway, really. And I don't, I think because it's kind of like trying to sandwich in between Revenge of the Sith and The New Hope. I think that it did sort of get away with it, but it's what they can't do anymore. Like that's it. And I'm quite happy with it. I think the one season, a lot of people hated it. A lot of people said it looked cheap and stuff, but I actually quite enjoyed Obi-Wan. It's something. Go on.
What's happening to that one where they're going to forbidden territories or whatever?
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, is that what? When's that
It's
coming?
just sitting there. It's. I think it'll be released at the end of the year. From what I understand, because like I
Right,
said, they've got the cartoons and stuff, which I'm not bothered about. But from live action, we've got the Acolyte in June. I think Skeleton Crew will be late this year, November, December, and then what they'll do is then they'll also then have the Andor season 2 in
right.
spring next year because they've got to pad it out because they're not making them much at the moment. I mean, they're
No,
doing
they've
post
got
production.
financial problems or something. They've
They're
cut the
they're
budgets back on some projects.
they're working on the first Star Wars film since 2019 soon with the Mandalorian first, which
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome. I've got a good feeling about that.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, probably only Star Wars series I really cared about, really.
And they're making a Ahsoka season 2.
Yeah, definitely
I
interested
still
in
liked
that.
Ahsoka season.
I
I
love
thought, yeah, I
Ahsoka.
think
I
that's
loved
pretty good as
it.
well. I like a lot of the Star Wars Disney live action stuff. I mean, okay, the sequels did get fucked up a bit, but the only one which to me, and I can see because everyone says it's very critically acclaimed and everything, I just didn't feel like Star Wars to me was Andor. It just didn't feel it. I
No.
just didn't click with it. And I could see it's well made. It's got good actors and everything, but it just felt it. I don't know. There's supposed to be a real, it's like a magical, really hard action, really something about it is supposed to be quite epic in Star Wars. Something about it is it's really something which just stands out in its own right for what they do. And Andor, I just don't know what it was. I like I said, I talked about this many times before. It was 12 episodes in the season. If it had been 8, it probably would have been great. Half the season, half the length. I think it would have been fine, and that's the problem. I think 8
Well,
episodes.
I want to know what happens with Cyril and his mother.
Yeah, well, I mean,
They should get their own Star Wars
no, but I
series.
think next season, I think the mum's going to go to the Star Wars supermarket and get some more green milk for Cyril.
Well,
They've got
I reckon that the mum is Palpatine. Palpatine, when he got thrown down the tunnel at the end of Jedi, he jumped bodies.
you think
Yeah. Oh no, he can't have because
he got cut in half, didn't he?
he's still emperor, isn't he? Well, I reckon she's a servant of Palpatine as his mother. She's
I
a dark. So she could be the power behind the throne. She could be the other Sith Lord.
no, I don't know.
I don't know.
I just like I said, there were so many scenes when they were going, like is it Mon Mothma, where she was in that
Mm,
going into that shop
mm.
with and like pretending to get I don't know some sort of like trinket or something, and they're having these sort of secret talks with the guy. Oh, that guy is the actor, and it's really good. The one that was in Chernobyl, and he was also
Well,
in.
Skellen,
He's great. He's a great
superb
actor.
actor. Yeah,
It's
no,
not
he is.
him. I just something about it just didn't work for me. I
No.
just don't know why. It just didn't. So anyway, so that's the Star Wars talk coming up. It's for Star
Well,
Trek.
Doctor Who's wrapped.
Oh, what season 2?
I think they finished
Sorry,
it. Yeah, I saw some photographs on Facebook the
I
other day.
saw that they're still filming. I'm not saying season 2 because it's not series
Season
15. Series 15.
Series,
Well, no,
well,
because
it's series one. And
yeah,
that's what
no,
they
no,
call
no. Well,
it.
I bollocks to that, right? The one that's coming up soon is series 14.
Well,
But it's
it
but
should be 14.
it's been called season 1 for Disney. Fuck that.
It's just.
And so what you're saying is that they're finishing now on season 2, series 15 is what you're saying. See? Like now another thing, right? If you're a new Doctor Who fan,
So,
right?
is this how you introduce this?
Yeah, if you're right,
Season
exactly
1,
right. All right, so,
season 15, episode 1. Is that how
no.
you're
What
meant
you
to
can do,
fucking introduce
you got a
this?
new Doctor Who fan and said, "Oh, all right," you can say, "Oh, I've seen that first episode of Doctor Who. I really
Yeah.
liked it." And they say, "Okay, so which one did you watch? Did you the first episode of Doctor Who, series 1 or season 1, episode 1? So you're talking about the one with the old guy with his granddaughter, and they end up with cavemen, is it? No. Oh, do you mean the other season 1? That's the one with Rose, where she meets the guy with the leather jacket, and they have these shop window dummies. No. Oh, you mean the other season 1? The one where it's got Shooty Gutwell and Minnie Gibson and all. Fuck that, for God's sake. Stop it. Stop keep renaming it. This isn't a brand new remake of the show. It's continuing on. It's continuing straight on. There's not been a big gap from Jodie Whittaker to David Tennant straight to Ncuti Gatwa. So why? Well, we know why. Because in Disney, it was basically they want to show this. They're pumping their money into it. They don't want it to be season 14 because they think, oh, what's that? I mean, people want it to see it be like a brand new show. And that's why they're doing it. But over here,
Yeah, but it's not a brand new show.
no,
is it?
but it is on theirs because they're funding it. That's the problem. That's what
I'm
it is.
packing it all in. I'm going to start watching. I'm going to start watching fucking soap operas. As of next week, we will be the EastEnders Coronation
I'm
Street,
still.
Brookside
Do you remember?
podcast.
Do you remember 5 years ago when COVID came down? I started watching Brookside.
Yes,
I'm still watching it.
that's good. No, good. But
You know
as
what?
of next week, we will be the Brookside podcast.
Do you know what
every
episode?
week.
What episode I watched today at lunchtime when I got home from work?
What
Episode 2340.
I could say certain words, but I'm not going to say that.
All right, all right.
I respect your tenacity
From Liverpool.
and your how you've done 2,500 episodes.
Yeah, but it's over 5 years. It's not. But the great thing about Liverpool, because I love Liverpool, and if you're from Liverpool and you're watching this, it's a great place.
I like Brookside.
I went there a couple of years ago, and it was fantastic. But it's not just the accent; their tone of their voice is high. They talk like this in every accent. Like, why do they speak so high when they talk? I'm not very good at Liverpool accent, but that's how they talk. So when they talk about anything, their tones are high. Why are they high?
You don't sound very Liverpool now.
Don't I?
No.
How do I sound? I'm not going to do it.
No, please don't.
Oh, come on. I do really good accents, don't I? You do a great accent from someone from Leeds.
Do you mean I really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Damn you, sir! You've revealed my pretense of being a northerner.
Now you sound like the master.
I don't. So that's it on the news, really.
Yeah, nothing going on.
They released the Deadpool Wolverine trailer the other day.
Oh yeah.
That was very good. I have to say, I was quite impressed.
Okay.
We've got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is out.
That's coming out very soon.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go see that.
Yeah. And the guy on YouTube who does all the AI 1950s Panavision thing, he's done a load, right? So at the end of this episode, I'm going to ask you for some choices, and obviously we'll put a link out to his channel because he does some great stuff. And I've got a few recent ones which you might not have seen, so I'll ask you with which one we.
I've seen. I saw Flash Gordon. I've seen Spider-Man, Batman. And he's done The Sopranos, actually. I've not seen that one. I've seen it advertised.
The new ones from abandoned films are Transformers, 1950s.
How's he done Transformers?
Chronicles of Narnia, Alien, Super Mario.
I've seen Alien, yeah.
Super Mario, The Matrix, The Walking Dead,
I've seen that.
The Terminator, The Hobbit, Star Wars, Tron, Avatar. There's loads. We'll choose one of those at the end of the episode.
I thought Tron were impressive.
Well, should we check that one at the end?
Yeah, go on.
All right, I'll put Tron at the end.
I'm quite impressed. It's weird, isn't it, as well?
It is weird, but it's...
Have you seen the faces, like their eyes?
Yeah, because but his channel was shot up. He's got about 30,000 subscribers last week. Good luck to him. I wish.
A fantastic idea.
Love stuff like that. Really new.
I think we're moving into a 1950s sort of thing as well now.
Oh no! As far as go on.
Sorry, when you watch Fallout.
Yeah.
The end of the world started in the 50s, so the people in the bunkers, they're still living in the 50s environment. They still have that innocence.
I don't know anything about it.
But then outside, you've got this post-apocalyptic world, and it's like the 1950s meet the post-apocalyptic world, and it's bloody interesting.
Is it really good?
You know? Yeah, and that's what, because there's this mentality of people that are naive and gullible of this 50s.
All right.
And then this post-apocalyptic world of desperate people.
Yeah. All right. How many episodes are in the first season?
There's only 8. All
right, okay.
You clear
it
in and out.
I'll go through
and
that.
you don't need to have a lot of experience with
Yeah,
the
because I don't know
game.
anything about the game. I'm not a
Just
gamer.
watch it.
Yeah,
And
the
take
same,
it for what you see.
and the same as The Last
Yeah.
of Us. I love The Last of Us,
Yeah.
but I've never watched it or played the game in my life. So,
No, same here.
all right, matey. Well, let's go into our focus of the week, shall we? Let's do it.
It's the Solar Sci-Fi Focus of the Week.
All right,
Why
there we are.
why were you doing that?
Huh? Because of the ring transporter for the transition, isn't it?
Oh, okay, right. Well,
You had this last week. You got confused. Look, I'm trying to make it a bit more slick. All right, and the ring.
All right, I apologize. I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. Right, you are a slick dude. How's that? Is that
Did I
better?
mishear that? Did you call me a slick or something else?
Slick Mick. Right,
Oh, Slick Mick.
Slick,
No, that sounds pornographic. I don't like the sound of that. That sounds like something you're going to get on Pornhub, doesn't it? No,
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Right, so this week we're going to be talking about Mission Impossible, the 1960s version. Now, Martin has asked me to recommend that we actually review this. I don't know that much about it. It's one of those shows that I've seen the odd episode occasionally over the years, but I've never really got into it. It's not that I don't like it. I do like it, but it's just one of those things where I never get round to it. And we are going to review this because you've said that there are some science fiction elements in this show, haven't you, Martin?
Well, there is, yeah.
Exactly. So, Martin, I'm going to let you take the lead in most of this conversation because you're going to be the one with the higher ground, shall we say?
We need that music on. No.
What's that?
They've got this awesome music in the back. That's why I told you to watch the bloody episode.
I watched an episode.
One.
Yeah, I watched one. It was good, and I actually what was the episode? It was about this guy who wanted to put bombs in LA or something, and they end up in he thinks he's in a prison about 3 years in the future. It's called called Operation Rogosh, and Rogosh is an operative of a country hostile in the United States. When he strikes, he typically leaves dozens, if not hundreds, of bodies in his wake. And they try to fool him and find out where the bombs were. I thought the episode was very, very good.
I watched 4 last night and 2 on Sunday.
Okay, so
I'm just saying that, so you know.
All right. I mean, have you seen every episode in the past?
Well, yeah, I've seen them, but yeah, I keep going back to it. Actually.
Okay. Because it was only about episode 3 of season 1, but there was no.
All right.
It was Leonard Nimoy wasn't in it.
They set him with the grey hair. I forgot his name. Peter Graves. That's it.
He wasn't there.
He don't come until season 2.
It was some other geezer, wasn't it? I didn't recognize the geezer. I didn't know who he was.
He should have started with season 3.
Yeah, do you know what?
That's
I asked ChatGPT. I said, look, I want to review it. Can you recommend a really popular, good episode? And it told me to review that one. That's why I did it. So AI is responsible for me watching the episode.
Right, what is so good about Mission Impossible is the scenarios, and the films have took so much from the original series. And what it is when they set these insane villains up with these dastardly plans, you know.
Yeah.
When he turns up in a building and there's a tape recorder there. Good evening, Mr. Phelps. You know, this is Anton Rushkov. You never find out.
Do you ever see that? I was going to say, do you ever see the guy that's actually recording the tapes?
No, he's the secretary, isn't he? You do in the films. In the films, you do.
Are they linked, the films?
No.
It's just a reboot.
Universe, reboot.
Right.
And it's like, and if you and your team get caught, you will be disavowed, you know.
Disavowed.
And then they go through this like insane thing of, I mean, these operations must cost a fortune because they've got to predict every outcome when they do what they're going to do. There was one last night I watched. I was really impressed. This way, you started getting into fantasy sort of element. There was this actor, he's really famous in the 80s, and he's a photographer, but he's his country. You don't find out which country he's from. 150 agents are going to release a germ thing to kill millions of Americans, right?
Right.
And they're on the case. And this villain's got a bunker, right? He's a photographer, but he has a secret bunker at the back of his garden. And he tells his country to do a nuclear strike on New York.
Oh, nice. That's great.
And what they've done, he's got a periscope that comes out at bunker. So,
Actually, do.
yeah, and they set up an entire scenario outside this bunker of a nuclear wasteland.
Lovely.
All
That
right,
sounds good.
because I want to get this code right to stop whatever this. And and they fake a nuclear explosion. He's in bunker with one of them because they need the code.
Right.
And he's going up, going, oh, they've destroyed everything outside. It's not,
That's okay.
and they don't know in the bunker. They think it's all been destroyed outside, but they're not. They've set up this like thing round telescope, right? And they're all stood there. The police, they're all stood there. They're inside this bunker. So Martin Landau, who can disguise himself as anybody, right? Grabs the code and says, like, he says, I've got what I want. And he just walks out and they try shooting him. But they've put loads of blank ink guns. And he just walks out. And these two villains, after all this scheming, come outside and everything's normal. And that's it.
Okay.
And they just fuck off.
That's it.
That's it. And what they did, there's elements. This is how cold they are. Because when they get a villain, they create a scenario where there's some villain that wants to take over a country and he's going to betray somebody, and they set it up, they push it along, and then the villain gets caught, and then you just like he's going to be executed by his own boss.
Right.
They've set him up. They just drive off with no feeling whatsoever.
No.
There's no feeling. The awesome music kicks in. They just get in a van and clear off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so does the
There's
show?
a lot of stories.
Is there a lot of recurring villains and things like that, like Spectre from James Bond or
No,
something?
no. I always thought it would. I thought they might have met like an opposite team to them. But
That's
they
what I
never
was
do.
wondering. It's sort of like, you know how you have like a
The-
recurring set of people, then they come
Look,
back from
well,
season to season.
Well, there is one episode where they're doing this thing where they think this guy thinks is in the future.
Well, that's the one. Yeah, but that's the one I saw.
No,
The one, is that a different one?
It might be the same one, but he thinks he's in a post-apocalyptic future. But there's another team of spies that are looking for him, watching them doing what they do. They can't get their heads around it.
Yeah.
You know, there's what they're doing to him. He don't know, you know. And they get them, but they've set up the other team as well. It's the amount of planning, you know, it's just pure ruthlessness with them all. And
So-
I just love the series. There was one with William Shatner where he's like a gangster, and the setup they get a whole street like a town, and they de-age him with like prosthetic. And William Shatner thinks he's 20 years younger, and he's back in his town. They've got people dressed up like he used to know, and it's all to get this information out of him.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah.
And there's loads of stories like that. And at the end, I mean, there's one guy where he thinks he's going to blow up Weldon and he's going to set this nuclear reactor off.
Yeah.
And they're after something, what this guy's after. And he's in this like room that's a nuclear reactor. And there's a certain way to get this thing out. And he's got to do it with them robotic hands. And he thinks he's going to get his revenge. And just as he's about to do it, they get what they want. The wall just falls down. They're all stood there with a camera watching him.
Oh, yeah. Because that's, I mean, like I said, the episode I saw, it was all deception, and he was thinking, he was thinking it was been stuck in this place for 3 years, and he hadn't been. It was all a studio. And so it sounds like they have sort of like parallel, similar story, sort of like traits.
Yeah, a lot of it. But in the films, they do meet opposite teams. But it comes out they're so top secret. They're like this team. There's that even like no. When one of them gets caught, they start this whoever these people they capture. They try breaking her, but they save her. But they're coming to a conclusion that whoever she is, there's something so high up, so secret.
Yeah.
But they get her out and catch the other people.
Okay.
I mean, the Nixon episode from prison. One of them turns up in this town in America, looking for his friend, but the whole town is a Russian infiltration thing.
There's a film.
We've seen that
There's
story
a
before.
film. Yeah, there's a film. I can remember.
Yeah.
Is it John Travolta? But there's a
Yeah,
film,
yeah. I know what you've seen
and it's
that
really
myself,
clever.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Well,
I can't
that's
think of
what
the
they
name
do.
of
And they
it.
come into town,
Yeah, yeah.
and they start setting this town up of all these spies, right? And the army's outside around town to catch them all.
Okay.
It's absolutely brilliant. But what's intriguing about it, for a program that it ran from 60s into mid 70s. I mean, it's 100 and some episodes. It's when they drive off at the end and leave the victim. They've either destroyed somebody or he's going to get killed by his own people.
It always has kind of like
they
a sudden ending.
off.
Yeah, sort of like that's
There's
it.
no emotion with any of them.
And that's it. Mission accomplished. End of episode.
Yeah.
Even I've seen that with a few I've seen, which were suddenly that's it.
Yeah.
That was the mission. Mission complete. Bugger off. Bye bye.
But that is what is so fascinating about it.
Yeah,
and it is science fiction, the part with the gadgets and they set up. I mean, they transport people into the future and set it up and the operation, and you suddenly start wanting more.
Yeah,
and the films took so much. The films even use the intro from the series when the films start. They use the intro.
Did Leonard Nimoy do this after Star Trek or before? Or?
No, I think he did it before, and then he might have done it after. I don't know. I think, I think he might have done it.
Because Star Trek was 66 to 69.
Yeah. And Martin Landau went to Space 1999.
When was that? Because wasn't that long afterwards that he was in Space 1999?
Well, him and her, Barbara Bain,
yeah.
They were like the biggest stars on television at the time, at that time. And Jerry Anderson got them for the Space 1999.
Because he seemed to age quite a lot compared to... Because when you watch the episodes I watched, his face is very thin. It's very... But he looked like he jumped about 20 years older in about 5 years compared to... You know what I mean? I'm not being disrespectful, but he did seem to age quite a lot compared to... It can't have been that long that he looked like he... looked very young, very trim and everything, until a middle-aged man as in Space 1999.
Well, it's been a successful TV because it came back in the 80s.
Oh, did it?
They brought it back, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, so what? They made it use what?
It was either 89 or 90. It was set in Australia. It was he was in it with grey hair. He's always looked like that.
Peter Graves.
Yeah, it's never fucking age. Always looked like.
I still remember from Airplane.
They had somewhat of a cast. Yeah. And they did one set. Jane Badler's in it. She's
from V.
In it. Yeah.
You can't go wrong a bit of Jane Badler.
And no, you can't. And that came back for one season, and then they dropped it.
I never heard of that.
No, it went under radar. I don't think it took off. The 60s one has that magic.
I will definitely go. I do like a lot of. I've been watching a lot of police shows from 60s and 70s recently.
Yeah.
Like I've talked about this before, like Streets of San Francisco and Hawaii Five-0, and this is I like old shows. I don't like a lot of stuff.
And the beauty of this is you can jump in anywhere you want.
Yeah, so it's quite a standalone, which is actually all right.
What I like.
Well, we're going to have to wrap this up. So again, the dreaded Zoom is about to sort of like give us the chop as usual. So I think this definitely is a good show. I will definitely watch some more. I wish I'd seen a few more, but at least now I can think to myself, just going to. I mean, you have obviously said like 2 or 3 parters I've seen in the listings and stuff like that, but it sounds like it's about a team of people. Or on an impossible movie.
And the music is exemplary. The music creates the atmosphere. I do reckon you should watch more.
And I want to see the Tom Cruise movies as well. I
do recommend them. Yeah.
Thank you, Martin, mate. I appreciate you reviewing that. Right, we're going to sign off then in a second.
We forgot the rating.
Oh, do we rate a TV show? I suppose we can do.
I said, would you have it in the collection?
Yeah. Yes. I think with a TV show, it's more the collection rather than the rating because it's a bit different. I mean, I would rate the episodes I've seen, like I said, 7.58 out of 10. I thought it was pretty strong.
I'm just going to give it a 10.
Yeah, I can't do it because I'm not seeing enough of it.
No, that's fair enough for me.
It was a strong episode I saw. Yeah. I like the cast, I like the music, I like the direction, I like the ideas. And I think it's definitely worth checking out, and I will definitely do that at some point soon, as I always promise. But I will. I will. All right, matey, we're going to sign off. We're going to finish off with the Tron 1950s retro thing. What are we doing next week? Are we going to do?
It's your choice. What do you want to do?
Oh, shall we do knowing? Is it knowing with Oh, please! I like that.
All right.
I bet you're going to be busy next week now, aren't you? Like, no.
No, I can't do Tuesday.
Oh, here we go. You see, he's already thought. I bet if it had been like, All right. Well, look, we'll try and do it maybe Monday or something.
I could do Monday.
We'll record it Monday at night. That'd be brilliant. Martin, thank you very much. Always fun talking to you. I really appreciate that we do this, and it's good to sort of just talk about all this stuff. Thank you, matey. So we'll be back next week with Knowing, which was going to be an interesting one to review, and I can't wait to get Marcy's perspectives and what he's going to put that out of 10.
Yeah.
And also maybe then we would have seen the next two Star Trek Voyages, Star Trek Discoveries as well. And I want to get your perspective. Marcy, thank you very much. We'll see you next week on So One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Live long and prosper.
Welcome to the Grid, a digital realm where light cycles race through the neon corridors and programs battle for survival in a world beyond our own. Here, within the heart of the Grid, lies the ultimate arena where programs clash in a spectacle of speed, strategy, and survival. But when a brilliant programmer is thrust into this digital frontier, he discovers that the fate of both worlds hangs in the balance. Joined by courageous allies and facing treacherous adversaries, he must embark on a daring quest to liberate the Grid from the oppressive grip of the malevolent Master Control program. Amidst the dazzling spectacle of light and sound, he will uncover the true power of the human spirit and unleash a revolution that will redefine reality itself. Get ready to be drawn into a world where imagination knows no bounds. Tron, a journey into the digital unknown, where heroes are made and legends are born. Coming soon to theaters where the future awaits.